Hello and welcome to my channel. My videos are meant to be sequences, small pieces, so that you can put them together with the other videos or with the activities that you do today. So hopefully when you get ready to begin this back bend sequence, you will have done the gentle warm-up that's on my channel, or maybe you've been for a walk or a run already today and you feel that your body's warm enough to go right into this practice. So thanks for choosing me to practice with today. Namaste. Let's get started. We're going to come to hands and knees. From here, we're going to inhale that spine up. Lifting through the spine, we tuck the pelvis, pull the chin to the chest, tall with the back. We're trying to contract the navel and the heart together, lifting through the spine. We're lengthening those muscles that connect the vertebrae. We're tightening our abdominals as we lengthen our back. And as we exhale, we let that belly come down, the heart come up, gazing up towards the ceiling, allowing the pelvis to tilt. We're firm through the hands in the mat, pressing with the fingertips. And we change direction. We inhale the spine up. Nice, gentle press. We're trying to get in that upper thoracic back, not just the lower back. Don't sink in your shoulders. Find your breath. Flat back, neutral spine. Let's let that right shoulder come towards the right hip. Feel the stretch through the left side body. And again, let's twist to the other side. We bring that left shoulder to the left knee, to the left hip. Just whatever we need to focus on to pull ourselves over. And back to the center. Let the back relax. Child's pose. Lengthening those fingers. Every time we come to child's pose, we want to try to remember our intention for our practice. Maybe it's strength, maybe it's flexibility. Maybe you need to let go of something that's burning you. The mat can always take it and leave you refreshed. So from here, we're going to rotate back up to table and from table down to the belly. So instead of having our hands back here when we normally practice, we're going to bring our hands right here under our shoulders. We're going to work on that upper thoracic back and we're going to just lift. So we're lifting the chest forward, letting the heart shine. We're not pulling with our neck or pushing with our face. The hands are very barely active, just to give you a little support if it makes you comfortable. Remember to breathe. Fill the belly. Feel it press into the floor. And gently lower down. Pausing for just a moment, because especially with our backs, they tend to cramp before any other large muscle group in our body. So we're just taking an easy practice today. Now we're going to lift those feet. We want the knees to clear off the ground. So we're just really focusing on getting those legs up. Nice steady breath. And then lower that back down. We just take a little pause. Sometimes I like to rock in case my lower back is starting to get cranky. And now we're going to do both. We're going to lift the chest and the back and those feet. This is our modified locus. Where's your breath here? Remember the intention of your practice. The theme of this practice is back bending And you can't expect to build the back without working on those abdominals to support them. So we're going to have a pattern here of working the back and then the abs. Let's lower down now, coming into sleepover pose and rest. And from here, we're going to bring those hands back by the chest so that we can push up, back into child's pose. Let the lower spine release. Head comes to the floor. So there may be a couple of you where in child's pose, it's kind of hard to put your head down. So you always feel free to use a block. Maybe your shoulders hurt to have those arms extended, and you can just rest the elbows down. In this particular posture, we're really trying to release the lower back, so you do what's comfortable for you. So from here, we're going to work our abdominals. We're going to come back to our table pose, and we're going to let the hands travel a little ahead of where they are. We turn those toes and we're going to come up and into a plank position. We're pressing the mat down. We're lengthening up through the shoulders. So I really want you to focus that you're pressing the mat down, not lifting the body up. It changes the energy in the body. It helps you become stronger as you push through the heels, keeping the navel tight into the spine. And we want to remember to breathe here. Our gaze is soft, and you're looking at your thumbs. Maybe you're active through your fingertips to help support your wrists. Most important, we don't hold our breath. Take a few more breaths here, feeling the strength in your body. Enjoying your practice. We put the knees down, roll the belly down, and rest. So our next set of back bends, we'll have our arms extended. So we're going to just lift the right arm. And then put the right arm down. We're going to lift the left leg. And down. Now we're going to lift the right leg we're going to lift the right hand and the left leg. And down. Now we're going to lift the left hand up. And down, and right leg comes up. And down, take a pause. And lift, left arm, right leg. We're strengthening across the back. We're doing movements where we're across in our plane of reach. The hands come down. The foot comes down. Now let's lift both arms. Now you may find this is a lot of work in the shoulders, and you don't have to lift your hands this high. They can be very low. And if you're having some shoulder issues that make this difficult, you can turn your palms in. Changing the rotation in the shoulder helps some. And we're going to let those hands come down. We're going to lift the feet. We want those knees to clear off the floor. Find your breath here. And gently lower it down. We're going to take a small pause. And now we're going to lift all 4. Nice steady breath here, feeling the back. And gently come down and rest. You're going to put the forehead down, feel the lower back release. Find your breath. A lot of times there at the end, as you get tired, you begin to hold your breath. Maybe you rock to release the lower back. We put the hands beside the chest as we push up and back into child's pose. Now, we also did that plank, remember, before we started that back bending? So maybe this made your shoulders tired. So maybe this is the child's pose you choose. Letting those shoulders just melt and soften as the lower back releases. So we've done back bending and then abdominals. We've done back bending again, but we need to get into the obliques and begin to tighten up the side body. So we need to add twists to our practice. So from here, we're going to come back to table. And from table, we're going to let the right hand lift. We're going to bend at the elbow, twist it through, put that right shoulder and right ear down on the floor, maybe sliding that left hand back. You're trying to rotate that top shoulder back to get a nice twist in the spine. If you're feeling a little more flexible, you can lift that top hand. Remember to breathe. And when that practice gets a little difficult, remember your intention for your practice. We let that hand come down. To come out of this posture, we slide back as if going into child's pose, and it lifts your shoulder for you. Pull the hand back out and return to table. Let's do the other side. We let that left hand lift and we twist it through, bending at the elbow, sitting the left shoulder down and the left ear down, sliding that hand back. Maybe we can get a twist. If comfortable, we can lift a hand. Be comfortable in your practice. You're going to feel this in your shoulder. If this is too much for you, just return back to child's pose. It's always on the menu. Even if you chose just to sit here and watch and breathe, you still practiced. The hand comes down. Again, we shift the weight back. The shoulder comes up. We're back at table. So we're going to start working back on those abdominals and lower back. So we roll down to the chest, down to the floor. We're going to do a pose called Sphinx. We're going to come up onto the forearms. Sphinx is very elevated, up out of the shoulder, navel not touching the floor. This is watching Saturday morning cartoons. We're not letting those shoulders come by our ears. We're lengthening up out of the shoulders. Then after you lengthen, lift the navel. Nice, gentle curve in the spine. And from this posture, we come into ab work. We're going to lower that head down, lower the chest some so we can turn the toes under. And we're going to lift up for forearm plank. So we're going to hang out here just a little bit and to kind of let that time fly. We're going to balance our knees once you get in that nice comfortable position, keeping those booties down, nice flat line, and we're going to tap for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 17, 18, 19, 20. Roll it down, sleep over pose. So from here we want to release our back. We bring those hands back beside us as we come up and back into child's pose. Nice steady breath. So again, we followed that format. We did back bending and abs, and we're releasing it out. So we're going to travel to the belly one more time here. We're going to lift up to table, and from table, we're going to roll down to the belly. This time we're going to extend the right arm forward. We're going to reach with this left hand and grab the left foot. And if you can't grab your left foot, it's okay. Maybe you grab your pants. Maybe you use a strap, but fiddling with the strap is more trouble than it's worth. You can just reach towards that left foot if you can't grab it. But if you can, we're going to grab that foot. You can apply pressure with the left foot if you like. And we're going to lift the right side of the body. So what's happening here is we're contracting on the left side. We're extending on the right side. This is normal activity in your life. You're doing something different on both sides of the body. So we're strengthening and lengthening. This counts as a back bend. You feel your belly pressing against the floor. Remember to breathe and gently release. Let's switch. Left arm extends. We reach back, grab the right foot. Maybe on this side you can grab the foot, maybe this side you have to grab the pants. You choose. And from here we're going to lift up. Lifting the left side of the body. Find your breath. Contracting on the right, lengthening on the left, and soften down. Forehead to the hands. From there, the hands come behind you or behind the shoulders, and we're going to press up and back into that child's pose again. Hands by the feet if you choose. Softening down. And from here, we're going to sit up. And we're going to practice a bowing posture from downward puppy. So this is to get a back bend in your upper thoracic back. So to start, we come into table. We're trying to keep the hips over the knees. If they shift some in this posture, it's okay, but we want to start with them over the knees. We try to begin to lower down. And this will be hard on some people's shoulders, so maybe you have to enlist the help of a block. Maybe some of you can bring your forehead to the floor. So this is where we start. We want to feel the flexibility of the shoulders and that thoracic spine. So many times we compensate in the shoulders for the lack of flexibility in that thoracic spine. So if this is comfortable, see if maybe you can come to the chin. And maybe after a small while, you can bring the heart down. So you'll hold this pose just as long as comfortable. And you'll find that your shoulders begin to get tired before the back does. Remember to breathe. Remember the intention of your practice. That you took time to do something for you, to energize your body and your mind. To come out of this posture, we return to the chin, then to the forehead. Now with the weight in the forehead, we pull the hands back and push back into child's pose. Hands by the feet. And coming up. So our next posture is going to be camel pose. For this pose, you may want to have 2 blocks, and if you don't have 2 blocks, that's okay. You may also want a blanket, which I need to get one here real quick for us. Sorry for that. So you could choose to flip your mat if you didn't have a blanket. Any blanket will do. And we're going to put it here on our mat. And that's just so we can put our knees on it. So we just bring the knees here just to kind of protect the patella force just a little bit. And the majority of people find comfort doing this with the toes turned under. People have a tendency to get cramps in the bottom of their feet. So we'll start here. With camel, we start with the hip over the knee. We're going to let that first one be supportive on the lower back. You're pressing the hips forward. And you're just trying to rotate the heart up towards the ceiling. So keep in mind, you're not trying to rotate the head back and look up. You're trying to keep the head parallel on the shoulders. It's just the heart that's shining forward. As we open the chest here, we have a beautiful supported back bend. That lifted heart is helping us release tension and fatigue that's in the neck and shoulders. You know, all the blood is kind of going to the back of the head. So when you come up, not to get a head rush, we have to pause. So we come up and we pause here for a moment. Then we sit back onto the feet and then into our child's pose to release. Now, when doing back bends, I like to do them in 3s. So each level here, I'll give you the next level up that you could do to give you some career for your yoga. So we're coming up, and we're going to come back to that starting position, turning those toes under. Maybe that was easy for you, you want something more. If you have the blocks, you can place them by your shins maybe, or by your ankle, depending on your flexibility. I'm going to take them off the blankets. I'm going to let this right arm travel up and around, thumb in, grab the block. So I'm testing here. How does this feel? Does it feel good? Then I rotate the chest up. I let this left arm dangle. And then I can feel my way to the block. Continuing to push the navel forward, looking up. So maybe you push forward and the blocks come up. That's still fine. It's still supporting your weight. And then you'll come up the same way. And then back to child's pose. And gently release. So you can also do it on the feet, the same way you use the blocks. We'll start again. We'll turn those toes under. That right arm will come over and you're going to find the Y and place it on the Achilles. Turn the heart up to shine, lifting the heart, belly presses forward, left hand just dangles back. Use your fingers to find the other foot. Now maybe you're very, very flexible and you want more with this practice. You can do it with the feet flat. Really good chest opener, opening through the shoulders, opening through the front of the hips, which is crucial in full back bends. We come up and pause. Where's your breath? Back to child's pose. And then we'll come back up to the feet. Now I'm only adding this because I had some of my advanced students ask me to put this in the video. So if using the blocks and your back was as far as you wanted to go, that's fine. You can just sit here and watch, or maybe you can practice a arm stretch while you do this particular portion. So for those of you who wanted to practice coming all the way over and into full saddle pose, how do we start? We start with those feet flat. The belly forward, and letting my arm come around. I'm coming into my full camel. From here, I'm going to continue to try to lean over. My hands will have to move to the calf. From the calf to the back of the knee. From here, hold it as long as comfortable. You can come into full saddle and rest it down. Now, if you've come into this full pose with some of those folks who want to try this, you want to make sure that you take your child's pose afterwards. So you want to try to come at the best as possible, but if you're overtired, you can just grab the feet, come to those elbows first, testing your body. Then you can come to the hands if you like, right into child's pose. And back up so that we all can join together again. So we're all advanced and beginners alike. We're going to come to a seated position on the blanket. And again, if you don't have a blanket, that's okay. I just find that it's easier to do this practice with the blanket. We're going to practice some core. We're going to practice boat. So we're going to come into this posture. Nice flat back, the best as you can. And this is our resting posture. So as you get tired doing this practice, you're going to return here because you're still working versus here. Here we're not working anymore. So even if you're resting here, something's happening. Your core has to work to stay up. So we're going to do some counts with this boat and play with it. So we're going to release for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Take a pause. Find your breath. Remember the intention of your practice. We're going to let the palms come together, and now that left elbow touches the right knee for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Come back and rest. Feel those obliques and side bodies working. Alright, so what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to bring those hands together. Right elbow, left knee, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We come back to the center and release it out. So while we're resting here, let's see how our hamstrings are doing, and we're going to try to see if maybe we can lengthen the legs up. So maybe just lengthening the legs up is all that you get to today, and that's completely okay. So we're just going to kind of hold them there. And for some of us, let's see if maybe we can take 20 with the legs straight. So you get those legs straight and hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Grab at the knees, put those feet down, and relax. So don't worry about your blanket being underneath your bum, it's okay. So we want to stay consistent with our practice. If we work abs or twists, then we go to the back. So we're going to do a small, subtle back bend called bridge. We're going to put the bottoms of the feet flat on the floor. Hands are beside the body, and we're going to slowly roll the pelvis up. So we're not even going to rotate the shoulders under today. We're just lifting the bum up. Where's your breath? Feel the hamstrings strengthen, the glutes strengthen, and support the back. And release it down, letting your bottom be the last thing to touch. And soften. So we only have 2 more practices and we'll be done. We want to get in some more abs and a couple more twists. So we're going to do something called recline crow. And in my opinion, it's harder than doing the arm balance crow, but it's great ab work. We're going to pull the knees in and let them open. But notice the big toes are still touching. The arms are straight up. So we're going to activate the core and pull the shoulder blades up and then let the knees touch here. So this is a reclined crow. If you were to reverse this posture, you would be balancing on your hands. We continue to try to pull the navel to the heart, really tightening the abdominals. We want to have a soft face and try not to push with the neck. The pushing comes at the heart. Continuing to work those abdominals. Where's your breath? Release it down. Grab the knees. Let's get in a twist. Arms come out to the side as we drop the knees all the way over to the floor to the left. Turning the head to the right, nice twist in the spine. Now we're going to bring those knees back to the center, drop them to the right, and look to the left. Bring those knees back up. Last ab work. We're going to bring the knees over the hips and extend those shins. We're going to try to make sure the navel presses down to the spine and the spine to the floor. The arms are extended, and as you begin to push the knees forward, you're going to feel the abs try to lift the spine up. Keep it flat. Keep the pelvis tucked. Hands are beside the thighs, curling up. Lengthening. So we're really tightening here. We're trying to pull the navel and the heart together. If you find that you're pushing with your chin and your neck, turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. You're staying lifted. Where is your breath? Remember your intention for your practice. Maybe just a little more tightening and squeezing here. You can do this. Last little bit. And release it back. So we want to finish off
with a back bend. So if you're one of my more advanced practitioners, you could do a full wheel here, which I'll do with you in a moment. So my beginners, maybe this is your bridge posture. Remembering we're trying to keep these legs parallel. We have a tendency to let the knees open and our butt will sink. So bring those legs parallel. If your shoulders can take it, maybe we're going to roll under a little bit. Maybe you can practice extending a leg without letting that bottom sink. And maybe that's where you practice. My advanced students take a full wheel. Maybe you practice with a leg. Make sure you do both sides. Gently release. Don't have attachment to your practice. One side will always be better than the other. And then you're going to take a release. Take a moment to be still. So you can choose to do a Shavasana, which I'll be posting one shortly. Maybe you decide you have something else you need to do, but make sure that you're still at least for 5 minutes first. So most of you may want to stay in that posture. But I'm going to come here to say thanks for practicing with me. Namaste.